Hey, I'm meteorologist Doug Myers with the latest forecast on this Tuesday. Yesterday was the warmest day of 2025 so far, low to mid 80s, but with the cold front pushing through this morning, temperatures will be in the mid 60s to mid 70s from north to south, and we should have plenty of sun. There may be a few clouds here and there. We'll keep an eye on that, and some models are also indicating we might be about 5 degrees cooler everywhere. So I'm going a little bit on the warmer side just because of the fact that I still think that we will be on the warm side because of a warmer start early this morning compared to yesterday. So it'll be something to watch out for, but bottom line, it's still going to be above average for this time of year. No doubt about that. 55 is considered average high this time of year. We'll at least be at 60. No doubt about that. 100% guarantee 60 minimum. But that would be along the Nebraska-Kansas border and very likely mid to upper 60s the farther to the south you go at the worst case scenario and how cool it might be. But I think it'll be a little bit warmer than that. For a brief period of time, we could have some wind gusts near 30 miles per hour today, but I think for the most part, it'll be closer to around 20 to 25, especially by this afternoon. And those winds will be out of the northeast. Now we'll have a little bit higher humidity, so the fire danger threat isn't quite as bad as yesterday, but still be very, very mindful of doing any plain burning, and this is going to be the case tomorrow too, even with the winds even lighter, but with the wind shift and wind gusts near 10 to 15 miles per hour, that could still be an issue if you're not careful. So just be mindful of that. Make sure to check in with local county officials in your area to make sure it is okay to burn. Again, lots of sunshine today other than a few clouds. I do expect partly cloudy skies tonight with an area of clouds pushing through after midnight and tomorrow morning. That should halt on how cool it could get, but I still think generally speaking upper 30s and low 40s for lows overnight. And then plenty of sun again tomorrow, especially in the morning with some clouds starting to move in by the afternoon. This is from a storm system that will keep all the rain down to our south and to our east and southern Missouri. So nothing that's going to cause too much of a concern in our area, especially with respect to precipitation. And then lots of sunshine again on Thursday. So we'll notice that I do have at least a few more clouds for tomorrow and Thursday, but generally speaking, plenty of sun for the next 3 days. Highs cooling down just a little bit today compared to yesterday, and then starting to warm back up Wednesday and Thursday. Friday will still be mild, keeping an eye on a chance for a brief shower thunderstorm. I'm still not expecting a whole lot from that. And then cooling down in the 50s over the weekend, warming back on Monday and Tuesday with a cold front that will be pushing through the area on Wednesday that we'll be keeping an eye on as well. So precipitation-wise, it's not much for the next 8 days, less than a tenth of an inch for most areas, and then maybe a little bit in our northwestern communities for the days 9 and 10 period. That could mean a little bit of minor snow too. No snow through through the next 8 days, and then starting to get maybe a little bit of minor snowfall for our northwestern communities and that day 9 and 10, along with that cold front that will be pushing through next Wednesday. The GFS, even less precipitation for the next 8 days. And again, a little bit, but still not a whole lot in days 9 and 10. Snowfall-wise, for the next 8 days, all the snow stays up to our north. And then see we're in the choice to 1 inch category for Wednesday and Thursday. So, we're not done with winter, by the way. At the very least, we'll have temperatures close to, if not slightly below the freezing mark, as we head into, at times, even over the weekend, but also into next week for the second half of the work week especially. And then maybe a little bit of minor snow. So don't be fooled by these warm temperatures for the rest of this week because we are not done yet, certainly. We have almost a month to go before we get into our last freeze of the season, relatively, or climatologically speaking. There's a look at our extended outlooks. You can see that we're generally wetter than normal, or at least normal, and then drying out in that 3 to 4 week outlook, and then probability of above average as far as temperatures are concerned for the most part. Yes, we will have a couple of cooler days, but for the most part at or above the average seasonal mark. For the next 3 days, for the rest of this week, our storm spotter training classes, National Weather Service will be out in Minneapolis tonight, at Ottawa, Sabetha tomorrow night, and then Lawrence on Thursday night. So you can find a complete list right there on WIBW.com. But I think all the severe weather stays off to our east of Missouri on Friday, which, by the way, if you're heading east on Friday, be aware of that. If you're traveling north on Friday, also over the weekend, be prepared for the potential for accumulating snow that you may run into. Winds, by the way. We could have windy conditions Friday, too, where wind gusts could be approaching 40 miles per hour before both Friday and Saturday. So keep that in mind. Getting a little bit less, closer to 30 mile per hour wind gusts for Sunday and Monday, and then picking back up again on Tuesday ahead of the cold front. So a little bit of an up and down in our forecast, but all in all, not terrible. Unfortunately, the weekend's going to be our relatively two coolest days for the next 8 days, but it's not going to be terrible. It's going to be seasonal. I think first and foremost, I think the wind is going to be the biggest issue versus the temperatures. We can handle those temperatures, but when it's the wind, especially because we have Irish Fest on Saturday, the downtown parade in Topeka, those winds may be a factor for some of those parade floats, so keep that in mind. Have a great day. Enjoy the warm weather that we'll continue to have for the rest of the week.